Hi, here we are, finally talking about the highest heights. Well, about the top jet aircraft of the game, at very least. Today, we're going to review some specific elements of gameplay associated with jet aircraft. Okay, so basically the aircraft come in two major types: piston engine and jet engine aircraft. The first type uses an internal combustion engine that spins the aircraft's propeller. Second type is propelled by a jet engine by projecting a stream of gas from burning fuel like a rocket does. These jet aircraft occupy Tier 5 in War Thunder. Jet battles are conducted at high speeds and under extreme G overloads. Therefore, the gameplay there is also different from dogfighting with older piston engine aircraft. Tier 5 has its own bombers and attack aircraft, but is mostly reserved for air supremacy combat among dedicated fighters. Bombers and attackers are rather vulnerable versus top-tier fighters and usually act in a support role. Despite the fact that jet aircraft are on a whole different technological level, they're not always better than traditional planes, which is obvious. The basic jet engine machine often lacks speed and maneuverability. In order to effectively fight on a Meteor 3, you need to gain altitude first, then build up some speed, and only then engage the enemy. Otherwise, you would not do much with it. Jet aircraft combat is mostly all about hit-and-run attacks. The moment you lose your aircraft speed and energy, you are dead. Jet aircraft, especially later models, were rather tough built, all in order to sustain high overloads and extreme speeds. You need to try really hard to make Sabre or MiG-15's wings fall off during a quick turn or a tight maneuver. They also pack some major heat. Almost all jet planes carry high-caliber, high-velocity autocannons. But a big gun does not equal a guaranteed victory. Shooting at such high speed is a problem of its own. You need quick reaction and surgical precision when firing. High speeds make you take in more lead and fire from extremely close ranges. You have virtually no chance of hitting a target during a high-speed maneuver from 800 meters away. More often than not, the battle comes down to a head-on attack, where both you and your opponent stand a 50-50 chances of surviving the said attack. Even if you manage to land just a few hits at your opponent's wing, you can safely assume that his life just got much harder. Fast jet aircraft will react harshly to even minor damage, therefore try and keep yourself in pristine condition as long as possible, and don't risk your fuselage when you don't have to. Jet aircraft have another trademark, which is their air brake. It allows you to quickly cut your speed. It is especially handy when you don't want to fall apart during a steep dive or prevent your opponent from hanging onto your six. Extend the air brake if your aircraft is about to flutter or during an active maneuvering. Air brake's default key is H. You should start with getting some altitude. First, let's get some good and solid speed of 450 to 500 km an hour. Then elevate your plane at about 10 to 15 degrees angle. This will allow you to keep your speed and energy longer, therefore getting altitude faster. 5,000 or 6,000 meters would be just right. These simple rules are true to most jet aircraft, except maybe for Ki-200 or Messerschmitt 163. These are both rocket aircraft. They have very little fuel on board, therefore must get high up at maximum possible thrust and only then drop it at 60, which is done to save fuel. Keep a close eye on your fuel tanks with these aircraft. The 163 has only about 6 minutes worth of fuel at maximum thrust. Now, when you're high enough, you should start looking for targets. We can't stress this enough, but you need to familiarize yourself with your craft before you engage anyone. Foremost knowledge here would be your plane's top speed and maneuver time. Soon, you will learn to tell which opponent you can outrun, which you can outmaneuver. For example, a British Meteor 4 is not a good opponent for a German Messerschmitt 262. Meteor beats his German counterpart in all aspects, but they still often meet in battle. Let's take a look at the research tree. Game developers add new models on a steady basis, but the current roster of jet aircraft is not huge for every nation in the game. Top leaders among them are the USA and the USSR. These two got the best performing top-tier jets. The US is famed for its Sabres, Panthers, and Shooting Stars. The Soviets got their MiGs 9 and 15, not to mention LA-15, Il-28, and a whole range of Yak jets. Up next is the Brits with their range of Meteors and a Vampire. Then we have the Germans with the variety of 262s, the Comet 163, Salamander 162, Horten, Arado, as well as East Germany's MiG-15 and Canadian Sabre. Last on the list is Japan. Their jets like Ki-200, which is almost a complete copy of Germany's 163, and Kitsuka, a copy of 262. US Land Sabre with machine guns, and a whole range of R2-Y2 jet bombers. If you are new to jet aircraft, we recommend you start with the US research tree. Try the F-80C Shooting Star. It has good speed, maneuverability, and a sizable ammo reserve. It will help you ease yourself into rigors of jet combat and will often be thrown against piston aircraft, which will be easy pickings for your Shooting Star. Finally, jet bombers and attackers. These machines are far less popular at top-tier competition, but there will always be fans of attacking ground targets. For those who have the US Canberra B-57B, a decent machine overall, it carries mixed armament of bombs and rockets and can seriously harm the enemy's team overall standing. But this aircraft should avoid enemy fighters at all times. Use its speed and evade the enemy whenever you can. Overall, jet combat could be a separate game mode in its own right because of all the special nuances of it. There are several most important ones you should remember. Always try and climb higher. At low altitude you can fight effectively and you will be an easy target near the surface. Second rule is never lose your speed. A slow jet is a dead jet. Finally, don't risk it until you have researched all available modules. Fixing a down jet costs a lot of in-game currency. So, get some altitude and build up your speed away from the main brawl. Then, pick your target and destroy it. Rinse and repeat. Good luck in the skies of War Thunder.